Yo, what's up guys? You're watching Don Boss, and today we're going to be working on my most requested video, formation guide and best team to use. I was actually making a video for this, but it dragged on really long, and I feel like it was more of like a walkthrough and just kind of like general discussion rather than a quick guide. So I'm going to give you guys the condensed version here, and then I'm going to go back to working on that video. That's going to be much longer, and it's just going to be kind of me playing the game and explaining things of how I kind of get past where I'm stuck at. And I think people that are serious about Arifureta are going to take a lot of value from that. But I just want to get this video out quickly so you can kind of see, and I can answer the question quickly: what's the best guide, formation, characters, and whatnot, right? So this is the condensed version, so if I miss anything, just leave a comment what you want to see down below, and I'll make another video on that. So let's dive right into it. The best formation to use is pretty much what I've got cooking here. You've got Yui. I know, who saw that coming? But you've also got to have Milady. Alright, I don't think you can't just win with Milady or just Yui. You gotta have both of them, because Milady tanks, and you're gonna see how important that is in that full version video I release. Because I was actually stuck until I got Milady tanking up here in the front. Yui, or Miu, S rank support. Once she's down for the count, she freezes all enemies. It's a 50% chance, but you know, more often than not it hits. And then you've got Liliana. 6% attack when the game starts, 6% when she dies. And you've got Kaori for heals and her stats, her big healing. This team also gives you 10% HP, 10% attack. If you want the 15, you're gonna have to take out Miu. You cannot remove Milady from this team. It will not be as good. So you replace Miu, and you would do that with Lilitis. That only gets you a 5% extra stats, so I would say that's definitely one of the best teams to use. Alright guys, so now we're looking at some of the top players in my lobby. Of course, they've got a cracked out Yui. They've got the Miu up front, so we can see that right there. They have Milady and Liliana, and they actually decided to switch Kaori out for Lilitis. I guess the thought here is that they don't need the healing that much because Yui heals herself, and she's super incredibly high level. They've still got Milady for the tanking and self-healing, and the damage increase every turn. So Milady increases damage by 3% every turn, and then her ability does another 8%. So the longer she's alive, the harder you hit. Let's look at this guy. What's he got? Miu, Liliana, Lilia's, Lily, blah blah blah. Same thing. This guy's got a cool team though. Never mind, it's the same thing. Another good team to use is Freeze Control. So you're gonna want Miru, Remia, and Miu. And an SSR Nana Miyazaki, actually, because she has a extremely high chance to freeze. It's almost always going to happen, actually. And then Yui is your damage. None of these other people do damage, really. So Yui's got to be your damage. The only other option for damage would be Shizuka or Milady. Because you don't really want these guys to die that much. Like Miu, you want her to take full damage and freeze. But this back row freezes with their attacks and their abilities. So you kind of want them to be alive. So you can't benefit from usability from everyone dying as well. So you can use Shizuka or Milady. I wish there was a high level burn team for me to show you, but there just isn't. Yeah, there just isn't a high level burn team. So if we come here, let's look at all the recommended teams. Speed clearing, it's okay. I wouldn't put it as the number one for sure. Because it's just not that good, honestly. The chances of destroying the speed aren't that great. It's a 20% chance for speed minus 10%. Like, come on. That's actually not going to make the difference here. He does give your people speed, though. But we're just... No, this is not the best team. Boss focus TPS. For actually fighting a boss, this is the team you want. Because you've got Nyes, who does damage based on their max health. And obviously a boss has a huge amount of health. You've got Milady, who boosts everyone attack every turn. Shea, who does damage based on their debuffs. And Milady silences, Nyes burns. Lilitis lowers the defense, so that's just extra damage right there. She also poisons. That counts as a debuff. And then Lost does another burn, and he does damage based on his max health. So, in addition to his regular attack. So, huge damage against single target right here. So that is actually the best team for a boss. If everyone was the same level. Obviously, if you don't have very high level stars for these guys, you might not do as much as if you switched this guy out for like a Yui or Shizuka. I think right now it's hard to say. The three teams with the highest potential are burst damage, chain kill, and burn focus. This is why. Because burst damage starts with these three in the back dying. And then Yui and Milady instantly killing pretty much everything turn one. And if not, Milady tanks and Yui kills turn two. Chain kill really only shines once you get Shizuka awakened and she can actually participate in the chaining. So her ability... See, she doesn't chain until she's awakened. If an enemy is defeated, triggers another skill. After defeating an enemy with basic attack, perform another basic attack. That's the chain part of this. And I think it has a huge potential, but most people watching this video aren't going to be having awakened characters yet. So burst damage is going to be your best bet pre-awakened. I think chain kill's got a lot of potential once you've awakened them. And same with burn focus. Burn focus is actually crazy. I think Tio does more damage than Yui, but not until she's awakened. You see, deal AoE damage to 1200% of your attack. Right now it only does 175 to all enemies, and it's still really good. Because you've got her passive skill that deals an extra 45% damage to burn characters, and she burns, Lost burns, Nice burns, and then Freed here. Freed burns for 3 turns and reduces their healing. So there goes Milady's healing, there goes Yui's healing. If she hits Kaori's healing everyone less. And then When he goes under half health, he activates a skill again. That's not exactly what it says, but getting plus 50 speed is most likely to activate a skill again. And freeze control. I think it's better than speed clearing, but not as good as these three teams would be. What can you do in certain situations to change these teams up? So my guide for burst damage is if you're struggling somewhere in burst damage, the two characters you can switch out are Lilithis and Kaori. For Miyu or Nana Miyazaki, someone that accomplishes the current problem. The problem can't be damage, because you have Yui and Milady. If your problem is damage, you're just not high enough level. Now, you have to practice with this, because what I mean by that is, obviously if you're losing, you're not doing enough damage, but why are you not doing enough damage? Is it because you get killed before you can attack? Then you want Miyu, so they get frozen, and then you have a chance to attack. You can't get rid of Liliana because you lose too much attack percentage. You can get rid of Kaori because if you're losing, obviously her healing isn't doing that much. And I know it says Yui here is in the front, but you can actually change that around. If your enemies are attacking the front too much, switch Yui with Liliana, let Liliana get attacked, and then leave Milady up front, so when Liliana's dead, all front row attackers have to focus on Milady, and they can't hit the back row as long as Milady's up there. And with her self-healing, she's not going to get knocked out quick. You have a good chance to just keep attacking with Yui. Let's move on to the chain kill team. Chain kill is main focus is Shizuka in the front here and Vander. You can switch these two around pretty freely. That doesn't matter too much. Shizuka heals herself, so she's good at the front. Vander survives damage only when he's awakened, though. So I think pre-awakened, leave him in the second spot, because he's not going to tank as well as Shizuka until he's awakened. Aiko debuffs, keep her in the back, she's important. Shea's the finisher here, because you've debuffed with Vander, you've debuffed with Aiko, and Milady's applied burn, that's another debuff. That's at least 300% extra damage that Shea does. So after Shizuka does her huge attack, Shea finishes them off with her huge attack, and then basically you keep whittling their characters down. Kill one, kill two, the rest are either frozen, burned, silenced, slowed. And then that's how the chain team does before awakened. Once they're awakened, you freeze them, you silence them, you burn them. Shizuka crits, one-shots them, and then rinse, wash, repeat, keeps critting, and basically wins turn one until she runs into someone she can't kill. But then once that happens, we move back to Shea, and it's Shea's turn next. And she gets her 300-400% bonus attack, finishes them off. You've got a pretty good chance of winning there. I think you would even kill a Yui team if you have enough speed. You could even kill a Milady. It would be tough, but with the right crit from Shizuka and debuffs on him, Shea could get the kill before Milady has a chance to heal, because it has to get back to their turn for them to heal. The thing I would switch about this team is Vander, especially if you haven't awakened yet. You can honestly just take Vander right out of there. He does almost nothing for this team pre-awakened. he only boosts himself 7% attack, so, you know, it's not insane. And he might actually be even better on the freeze team, because he has abilities that work with freeze. But yeah, he's just not pre-awakened, he's just not pulling his weight. You can switch him with Miyu, put Miyu in the front, and then let Shizuka just keep attacking while they're frozen. You kind of need Aiko. You can switch Shea too, if she's just not hitting as hard, because you can't level her up that much. But you need Milady, and you need Shizuka, and Aiko. Those are the three most important for this team. Alright, let's check out Burn Focus. Burn Focus's main damage is going to come from Tio, because she does extra damage to burned enemies. And Nice burns, Milady burns, Lost burns, Freed burns. This is the only team where all fire types are, like, you use all the same thing, because you have to burn. If you're not burning every single person on the enemy team, this isn't going to work, because Tio attacks everyone, and then she gets a 45% damage bonus to burned enemies. That's almost half. So she does 1 million damage. She's now doing 1.5 million damage. Also, when they enter a burn status, plus 4%. When they leave a burn status, you heal. So it just gets crazy. She gets that. And that's infinitely stackable until the end of turn. End of game, sorry. And then you've got to consider that comboing with Milady's 3% each turn. And then 8% bonus. So before you know it, you could be having over 100% attack just from passives here. Important thing to do with this team is you have to put guard items on Nice. So that's Treasure Trove. That pretty much just Treasure Trove, because you need them to have as high of a guard as you can. Loss, you want to put as much HP as you can on him. I can't think of the item off the top of my head. Let's pull that up. Actually, let's just move into artifacts right now for each character. So, starting with the chain kill team, the most important item is actually not the black ribbon. The black ribbon is not as good as you think. A better item for Yui is the twin claymores. You get the attack bonus, then you get the HP bonus, and Yui needs a little bit of health. She's kind of a glass cannon. And then you've got the breach status. This 40% breach is actually huge. It's might be better than the crit bonus. The only way Black Ribbon is gonna pull its weight is if you're able to go all out on the magic affinity. You get the lucky roll, you get the crit bonus. And then even then it's not that good. You gotta get everyone else to die so you can get your 40%. And then with 6, that's only 46%. You haven't even hit 50 yet. But I think she has I think she gets a 10%. So now you're at 56%, but everyone else on your team's dead. So you gotta really hope that the team you're fighting is just weaker than you. If they're the same power, you might not be able to win with just Yui. Then I would go for, honestly, the first thing I would go for is Ryzen's Proof. Because Milady's on so many different teams, Milady can go on any team, really. One of the best tanks in the game, does huge damage. So get her this, so she can resist the CC. She doesn't get frozen or stunned as much. And she has a huge breach, so she still hits like a truck. Then, if you're playing chain kill, you need the Black Katana. That'll be the first one you buy if you're doing chain kill. This is a great artifact. It's actually good enough to even put on someone that isn't Shizuka. So you can just buy this, and then you could honestly just give this to Yui, because it has a little bit more than... It's basically the Twin Claymores super boosted for Shizuka. But even without Shizuka, it does 2% more attack. The only difference is this is cheaper, so if you're going to buy more than one and level it up, then you can do that a little bit easier. Treasure Trove is the one you want for your burn team, Knives I was talking about, because this is 16% guard, crit damage reduction, and HP. It's going to make Knives the tank that you need, and the guard that you need, because every time he guards, he burns them, and then Tio can dish out huge damage. Ornus, if you get Ornus, I'm sorry, this Ornus is trash. I just wanted to mention that. What else? So we got Chain Kill, we got the other one. That's really it. Most important, Ryzen's Proof, Black Katana, Twin Claymore, Treasure Trove, and then Black Ribbon. After you get those, then you can start, picking out whoever else's you want. You can go for Lovely Cup. We're gonna go for Mio's White Whale, because Mio's gonna have a lot of uses on teams. You switch her out for someone when you need to, and that's CC rate plus 20%. So her 50% chance to freeze is now a 70. And then the rest of the stuff doesn't really matter. Mio's main and focus isn't to attack until you get to the really high awakened levels. Yeah, and the rest of them honestly aren't that good. Like, look at this. This is actually just garbage. The Phase Corolla, I don't want to see anyone buying this. This should be a free item. It's actually that bad. I'm not going to go through all of them on this video, though. So there's the condensed version breakdown. Leave a comment on what you want to see next, and I'll make sure to get to it. And I'm going to release gameplay footage soon that is much longer, in depth, and you can actually see me overcoming some hurdles with the strategies that we talked about here in this video. So leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and thanks for watching, guys. Don Boss out. I'll catch you in the next one.